Madam Clerk, could you call the roll? Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Fields, can you dial Mr. Franklin a while? Where would he go?
Where would he go?
Kidnapped.
Speaking seriously, he's usually on time. That's why I'm saying let him fall in or something.
Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. A quorum is present for the City Council and successor agency.
Any persons wishing to address City Council, successor agency on any item on today's agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time. Hearing no comment. PH1.
Public hearing to consider an ordinance amending the Inglewood Municipal Code to establish policies for short-term rentals.
Continue the public hearing to May 26, 2020 at 2 p.m. Consent calendar items 2 and 3.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dotson,
I just knew it.
Aye.
There you go.
Council member Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending approval of the Fourth Amendment to Sequel Funding Agreement number 18-055 with
Oh, okay. Then it's pulled because the report is no longer. We don't have the staff report. Okay, so DR1 is pulled. DR2.
Staff report recommending approval to develop and staff a housing protection department.
Move items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
I believe there were going to be some amendments.
Second.
We have staff report.
It's okay. Oh, go ahead. It's up to you. It's up to you,
It's
Mayor.
not needed.
Not needed.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Mayor, I wanted to comment on this item.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
I just simply want to make sure that, based upon the ordinance, that it's the employees that are coming on board will be transitional employees, not permanent, and that the program is set for December 31st, 2024. So that's the 10-year expiration period. That's
2024 is not 10 years.
I'm sorry,
It's a
20.
5-year.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Go ahead.
First of all,
I'm going by what's in the
Go
section.
ahead, Yakima, because I don't know that we're going to guarantee that, but they will be transitional to start, but go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so the ordinance, the council's intent when the permanent ordinance was adopted was that after receiving input from tenants and landlords, that the 3% cap would be for 5 years. And then after that, it would be, we would allow what state allows.
Okay.
State goes until 2030. So it's my
Well, wait,
intent-
let me finish this. Our intent is that rent stabilization is something that's going to go on into the future. So, I mean, to say that this is a 10-year program, I think it's very destabilizing and disheartening for people that live here right now. Because if you allow rents to go up 10, 12, 14% after 10 years, you're going to be in the same situation that you are now. Go ahead.
Mayor, but my understanding was that we had, when we approved it, we didn't approve it with this stipulation that it would continue after the 10 years. What we said is after the 5 years, it would then revert
To the
state. And there was no discussion about after 10 years what we would do. And so I think what Councilman Franklin, and I'll let him speak on this, is that the thought is that this continues to go, and we can revisit it in year 8 or 9 or.
Absolutely.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Whoever's
Yeah.
on the council at that time can revisit it. But what we're saying is just up front that the employees that would be coming on would be transitioned.
And I agreed with that.
Okay, well then,
And Mayor, if I may comment, reading from the section E, this section shall remain in effect only until December 31st, 2024, and at the end of that date is repealed. So it can be.
2024.
Right.
That's
So
the
the-
Yeah,
5
that's-
years.
that's
So
what the-
they repealed the 3%,
Right.
and instead of clarifying that we will then allow what state allows.
Right.
So the intention is when we bring back the ordinance, it would be amended to
To-
read
to-
what your intention is.
To reflect the
Yes,
state.
right.
Yes.
That's right. That's
Go
why
ahead.
we're about it.
And-
Comment
yeah,
by
and-
Councilman Morales.
And the key terms is, what would happen is when ours effectively sunsets, which is in
Our 3%.
2024, it would actually trigger the state
Yeah.
to come in. Because we would, and you can correct me if I'm wrong when I'm done, but at that point, we would continue to service the community with regard to what the current law is allowing.
If we incorporate it in our ordinance, otherwise there would be no
And
enforcement.
that was my next thing. Do we need to take a step? And is that step now, or is that step in 2024?
I think we should do it now, when the ordinance, when an amended ordinance comes back, so we can just clarify it then.
Okay, that's fine. But I knew that was the moves that were, just to clarify. And what Councilman Padilla said in terms of, I think that is the most accurate. When we made our decisions was to trigger into 2024 and then allow the state to dictate. And then at that point, when that sunsets, we can make our own decision in terms of
Right.
expanding it or
Exactly.
stopping it at that point. So I just wanted to clarify that we're on the same page.
Good.
And make sure that we address that now.
All right.
With one more, because the general fund is funding up the startup costs for the department, can you include a motion that when we start collecting registration fees at the general fund to be reimbursed?
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, hold on a second. Well, so, where's the city attorney? So is that a motion we can make right now because this is on the table?
There's already a motion seconded.
See, we're gonna have to redo the motion, but what I'm saying is, what she's recommending is that we, right now, make the motion that the general fund will be reimbursed retroactively once we collect the fees. So that's the question that's on the floor.
For this item, I believe we could do that because
Okay.
that's where it should be going to the general
Okay,
fund.
so let's.
So I'll do this. I'll rescind my motion.
go.
You can rescind your second, and I will amend my motion to include approval of items 1, 2, 3, and 4 of DR2 with the amendment and stipulation that any costs associated with this program will be reimbursed to the general fund at a later date,
At the point that they are collected, fees are collected.
at the point that the fees are collected. I agree with
I
that.
second.
Okay, so what you're seconding though, so you're moving the entire 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
With the
Added.
amendment.
That's correct.
And first and second it. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Council members, Dotson. Aye. Padilla.
aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen, for your clarifications.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Mr. Decatur. So now we're at DR3.
Staff report recommending approval of a California Tax Credit Allocation Committee lease rider for Path Eucalyptus located at 502 through 508 South Eucalyptus Avenue, Inglewood, California, 90301.
Move approval.
Second,
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dotson. Aye. Padilla.
aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR4.
Staff report recommending the appointment and confirmation of 2 Inglewood Housing Authority Section 8 tenant participants to the Housing Advisory Commission.
Move items, Mayor's, well, that's your motion.
Okay, I appoint the following to the Housing Advisory Commission. Georgia G. Gist Williams as Commissioner number 6 and Ramsey Jones as Commissioner number 7.
I second the motion.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Council members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR5 and CSA 1.
Staff report recommending approval of an amendment to agreement number 18-150 with Sialic Contractors Corporation doing business as Shannon to increase the contract amount by an additional $332,300 for construction work performed on the Imperial Highway Improvement Project.
Move items 1 and 2.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members and successor agency members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. DR5 and CSA 1.
We just did that one.
Oh, excuse me. City Attorney reports A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a closed session regarding labor negotiations with Jose Cortez, the Human Resource Director, being the agency negotiator. The 2 bargaining groups were the IPOA and IPMA. As to that item, discussion was held, direction given to staff. And as for oral reports from the city attorneys, there are none at this time.
CM1,
There are no city manager reports.
CC1,
No reports, Mayor. Thank you.
CT1,
Residents of Inglewood, I stand before you this day to address the aforementioned March 10th, 2020 agenda item from the Office of the City Manager, Artie Fields. The subject, resolution to establish an investment committee for March 10th, 2020. However, before I address that item, I want to inform the residents. I was diagnosed with breast cancer several months ago. It is the most aggressive form of breast cancer. However, I serve the most powerful and aggressive God and Lord in this universe, who has assuredly assured me I will be okay. I have 3 stages of treatment: aggressive chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. I'm in the final phase of chemotherapy. I'm very fatigued much of the time. This has been a challenging experience to my health. I spend 2 days per week for nearly 10 hours at the hospital for the infusion treatment and appointment for my oncology team. Mayor Butts and all of the council members, as well as the city manager, were informed before I began my chemotherapy treatments. From the inception of when Inglewood was incorporated in 1908, that's 112 years ago, an investment oversight committee didn't exist. It is this treasurer, whom was elected in June of 1987, that established the first and only investment oversight committee that is not required per Government Code 53600. Let me emphasize, an investment oversight committee is not required per Government Code 53600. I served as chair. The city manager served, the finance director served, and 2 members from the community serve as members. I announced at a previous city council meeting several months ago the treasurer would be accepting applications for any resident interested in serving on the Investment Oversight Committee. However, I announced several months later the cancellation of that proposed meeting, as well as the treasurer's free income tax program for residents, city treasurer student intern program, and workshops. I completed the 15th city treasurer intern program last year. I request that the city clerk include this report in the documents for this council meeting in the event the mayor orders my mic cut off and not allow me to complete
Well, you're
this report.
definitely at time, and so you're definitely at time. So you can include it in
What's that
her
again?
notes. You can have her included if you want, but you're definitely at time.
I can't speak anymore.
No, you're at 3 minutes.
I'm sorry, what's that?
You're done. Okay, there are no appointments to boards and commissions, public comment. Any person who wishes to address city council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. Hearing no comments, mayor and council remarks. Councilman Padilla, Councilman Dotson.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. I felt your presence.
Well, I was hoping so. There is a little delay. So I'd like to wonder, I will be praying for you. And so will my wife. And so sorry to hear about that. And I'd like to count. Thanks for letting me on this line. I feel like I'm a part of it. So thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you, Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I'd like to ask you to close in the memory of a longtime friend of the city of Inglewood, business owner, just a wonderful-hearted person, Jerry Friedman, who passed away on May 13th. Jerry Friedman with Marvin Engineering. And so my condolences to his family and friends. And, you know, he certainly is going to be missed. I'd also like to remind everybody that next week is Memorial Weekend, or this coming weekend. So please keep in mind all our U.S. military personnel that have given the ultimate sacrifice. So when you're together with your family, please give a little extra prayer and tribute to those men and women. That being said, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Franklin, District 4.
Yes, I just echo those same sentiments with the closing in memory of Jerry Freeman. And Mayor, I also ask you to close in memory of Larry Arbery, who's been a long time District 1
Larry Arbery
Inglewood
passed?
resident, yes. And that his daughter is in my councilman district, and
Right.
I was given the sad news.
When did Larry pass?
Yeah, when did he
About
pass?
2 days ago.
Okay. Councilman Morales.
Mayor, I would just like to reiterate the same thoughts as to Jerry Friedman and now Mr. Larry Aubrey. Other than that, have a nice week.
Yeah. I wanted to definitely give our sympathies to the city treasurer as well. You know, I hope that everything ends up the way it's looking right now. Jerry Friedman, I've known since I was 19 years old. Met him in 1972 when Marvin Engineering was in the brick building at the corner, the southeast corner of Beach and Eucalyptus. And I was a community service officer, and he gave me a tour of the place, and he was not the principal that he was. And just such a great asset to the community, and he will definitely be missed. I've known Larry Aubrey since the 80s, so these are two long-term pillars of the community. And we close the meeting in their name, and they'll definitely be missed. We're adjourned.
Thank you.